Tonight, new explosive documents reveal for the first time how an Indiana soldier was deployed into combat despite multiple positive pregnancy tests.
13 Investigates reporter Sandra Chapman told you how that soldier unexpectedly gave birth in Afghanistan. And now tonight she's back after months of digging for more information. She has disturbing new details of a process that failed simple science. Sandra?
Well, and the more we dig, the more strange twists and turns. At its core, the Army must do one thing to ensure its female soldiers are battle ready: rule out pregnancy before deployment. And it all starts with a test. In this case, there were at least 4 tests, but the science was overruled by feelings.
It was a battle.
Thousands of miles away from Afghanistan in the 12th Aviation Brigade, Private Ashley Shelton has been stuck in another military fight. The right to know why Army doctors sent her into a war zone pregnant. Second trimester pregnant. Just 3 months after she was deployed, she went into labor in a latrine and delivered a near full-term 5-pound baby boy.
And to this day, the Army has not provided anything as far as an investigation, what their findings are, anything. So we're still waiting.
Despite the Army's lack of response, Shelton and 13 Investigates have obtained explosive new medical records that reveal what really happened and why she and her unborn baby were sent into harm's way. The records reveal the then 20-year-old was sent into combat despite 4 positive pregnancy tests over a 9-week period starting in February 2012. The last test in April, just weeks before she shipped out in May.
Everything shows I was pregnant. Science proves I was pregnant.
The Army doctor writes she has no signs of pregnancy. She continues to have positive HCG testing despite not being pregnant. HCG is a hormone produced during pregnancy and is picked up at very low levels by standard pregnancy tests. But in Shelton's case, it wasn't enough. The records note Shelton was on birth control and reported her last sexual encounter during leave.
He's in there saying that you're not pregnant, you're trusting his advice.
In fact, the doctor lists Shelton as deployable, noting abnormal findings and calling her a very interesting case. He then writes this shocking phrase: "Do not feel patient is actually pregnant. Human anti-mouse antibodies are causing a false positive result." Since going home on leave to rural Indiana in December, where she lives on a farm and reports frequently seeing mice, she has had positive HCGs, despite not being pregnant. That's right. The doctor's decision to send Shelton into combat was not based on additional testing or an ultrasound, but on her perceived exposure to mice in Indiana.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, I really had no contact with mice.
Whether she believed it or not, she was a soldier under the Army's command. The doctor sent a blood test out to a lab in London, ordered typhoid and anthrax vaccines for Shelton, but held her off from the smallpox shot due to inability to 100% disprove pregnancy. Now, 5 years later, and watching her son deal with developmental delays and a physical disability,
as a woman, I'm reading it and I'm like, why? Like, why? You know, like, why did you deploy me?
It's a question 13 Investigates has been asking for months. We want answers from the doctor who made the call, Dr. Jonathan Richard Coyle. Shelton found him on social media.
That's him.
Yep. Major Coyle, the one who okayed me to deploy, he has not responded to any of my messages.
He did not feel that you were pregnant.
On off his feelings, I could have died, my son could have died.
Shelton wants both Dr. Coyle and the Army to consider the future for Benjamin.
Where do I go from this point on? You know, where does my son go?
Now, the search for answers is not over. We are already getting new information on the doctor who made this deployment call. We're working to bring you that part of the story as we continue to unravel this Army secret.
Wow, that's a lot there.
It makes me sick.
Yes, it's very sad.
You know, this former soldier and her son have faced huge challenges. What's happening with them right now?
Well, as you can imagine, there is a great emotional toll. Private Shelton is rebuilding her life with the help of the Indiana National Guard, and her son now has a treatment plan for his physical disabilities, and we'll have more on that tomorrow morning on Sunrise. But she's still trying to take steps forward and making the most out of the situation.
So there is a lot more to this story.
Right, and she wants the answers, and so do we.
All right. Thank you, Sandra.
Thanks.